Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and in just a moment we're going to look at some of the biggest pots I played over the weekend on iPoker. There's some pretty wild hands, so hopefully you'll stick around to watch them. Before we get stuck into it, I'd just like to congratulate Weasel, who he reviewed some of my hands a few weeks ago on Twitch, and little did I know then that my hands had been reviewed by a Triton. Was it 20k mystery bounty? Yeah, $20,000 buy-in mystery bounty winner. He won that on Saturday for fucking Christ knows what, over 600,000, including bounties. Yeah, just fucking brilliant. I'm not claiming to know him really well, but he's a long time like low stakes poker content creator, and usually I find it hard to root for people I don't know to do well, but I was glued to his final table, and yeah, it's really chuffed to see him take it down. Hopefully, that will lead to bigger and better things for him. He works really hard on his streaming. He works hard in his game. He's just a grafter. He puts the effort in, and he deserves his success. So, hats off to him. Congratulations to him, and I hope to see him like go on and hopefully get like a a sponsorship from ACR or someone, and yeah, just really kick on from this and properly make his mark. Yeah, so without further ado, we've crawled up his ass for no good reason. We'll now look at the 20NL hands. We've just been talking about somebody who won $600,000, and now we'll look at some 20NL hands because that's what I do. So here we have first hand. We have two kings. We have a very recreational player who's min raised. We obviously 3-bet. He calls. We get a very reasonable flop. He checks. We bet pretty big, which we probably should do in position against bad players who will probably call with a wide variety of hands here. He calls. Turn shouldn't change anything. Of course it can. He's a whale. He can have all kinds of like Queen 9-7, who knows what, but whatever. I mean, you can't be scared of shit like that. If somehow we're beat on this board versus someone playing a 60v pip, then we're beat. We're just going to pay him his money, I guess. He checks, we bet. He calls. 6 on the river, again. Should be a brick, but you just never know. You just never know. The 4-5's a thing. The 7-6 is a thing. So there are ways we can be beat here. Right, he goes all in. I don't remember this hand. He's either going to be doing something stupid here when we call and win, or he's going to have hit something and we just pay off like a fucking broken slot machine. Be one of the two, but clearly there's no folding. We don't like to be dunked into. We'd rather check and then just put the rest in ourselves. But we're not folding either. So we call. And yeah, the 4-5 was the thing. I mean, I guess from his point of view, reasonable open, not the worst defend in the world. Flop a good shot, turn a flush draw, river the effective nuts. Nice. Must be nice, is all I've got to say. On to the next one. We have the ace king of diamonds. We have opened. We have been called, and folded. We flop as well as we can flop without flopping a made hand. We go for a check. I guess we're going for a check raise. Yep, we are. He calls. He calls. Turn is a total break. I guess. Oh. Now what? So this was just a single raise pot. Then it's been a check raise flop, and we've had 2 callers, one of which is now all in. And we get a turn card that isn't really a brick. 10-9 gets there. I guess, these guys are whales. I guess there's some 2 pairs get there too. I guess every combo of 2 pair gets there with the 8. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I just punt it in here. And I think it's probably still absolutely fine. We've got like a million clean outs. Very much doubt we get many folds. But do we care about that? I don't think so. We do just absolutely ram it in. This dude calls. We completely break. There's no more pitching to be done though, because we're all in. And yeah, okay. This guy just had the king jack, and this guy had the queen eight. So we were absolutely dead in 2 spots. We lost. On to the next hand. 2 aces. Yeah, I remember this hand. This guy's he's a reg. He's tagged red because he, like, pre-flop wise, he gets a nice curve. He's opening reasonable frequencies, some more positions, unlike a lot of players who probably aren't, who have different colour tags. But he's shit. He really is quite shit. He's one of these like massive ego regs. He just like tries to win every fucking pot once he's in one. Yeah, he's not good. He's not good, but he's a reg and he's annoying. I'd rather he wasn't in the games because he just makes life difficult without being particularly good. He's just one of these like regs, and there's loads of them who just go out of the way to cut other regs' throats and cut their own throat and just like fuck it. Yeah, he's just a prick basically. Fuck him. We 3-bet to 9. I should have made this bigger. This cunt never folds blind versus blind. He actually comes with a 4-bet here because this is just what he fucking does. He's a prick. I decided to just click it back because fuck him. And also I've been when I've been looking in GTO, there seems to be an awful lot of like pretty small 5-betting versus 4-bets. Maybe not the exact min click that I've done here, but there does seem to be a fair amount of just like incredibly tiny 5-betting. So I'm like, fine. I wouldn't necessarily do this against a fish, but against a reg, maybe I would. Maybe I got the sizing slightly out, but who knows? This wouldn't have been a thing before I started using GTO Wizard. I would have either just called here, mostly calling, a little bit of ripping, but mostly just calling. But I have, let's say, when I've been doing the GTO Wizard drills, I have been finding quite a lot of, when I'm doing them, when I'm at a position I've 4-bet blind versus blind, there does seem to be quite a lot of like really small 5-betting. So that's what we went for here. He calls. Doesn't really matter what the flop is now. All the money's going to go in if he's got any kind of made hand. Sizing wise here, I don't remember what I did in game, but I think I would probably want to go with something around, not very big anyway, and not so much stupid. I wouldn't want to go like 10% pot or anything like that, but 15-20% pot maybe. Would I go as much as 30? We have the Ace of Hearts. Something between like 15 to 18 blinds maybe. I want 22. That's maybe a little bit too big. He raises non-all in, which is just like, what are you fucking talking about, mate? I mean, it's very unlikely he has much of this board in his 4-betting range. It's way more likely he maybe just has the stuff like 10s, jacks, maybe some, like, I don't know, fucking flush draws, some king, queen suited or what have you. But anyways, obviously we're just going to get all the money in. And this fucking idiot, oh, I'm clicking the wrong button, hang on. This fucking idiot, oh, Reg, click the right buttons, you fucking more. I'm the fucking idiot now. We want this one too, don't we? Just had the S9 off. I mean, I don't think this is like, it's probably a thing. I don't think it's much of a 4-bet pre-flop. Is it a check raise? I mean, I don't know. Maybe this guy's played this hand fucking perfectly, but it felt really fucking shit to me. I'm like, what are you fucking doing, mate? I'm not even the sort of reg that gets massively fucking out of line either in these spots against these cunts. So I just don't fucking do it. So this is just like, obviously, in my opinion, a massive punt from him. But the cunt got rewarded, and that made me incredibly salty. When I get felted versus like the recreational players or what have you, or in just like a cooler spot or whatever, just, fine, whatever. When I get felted by a rec, I actually don't mind. Obviously, I'm a bit annoyed, but I don't mind it because, you know, we want recs to win big pots because it's what keeps them playing. They lose long term, but You know, we want them to like have some fun playing the game, like taste some success. So I don't really have an issue with that. I try and see the positives from that, but there's just no fucking positives to take from this. It's just some fucking useless shit reg doing fucking useless shit things and being unduly rewarded. And I felt particularly fucking salty, especially because these were all done chronologically. And these were all from the same session, so I was just getting fucking killed this session. Well, not getting killed, but things weren't going well, and I was pretty fucking annoyed. And this was like, yeah, fuck you. I think I actually ended the session not long after this hand because I was just irritated. The games were good too, but I was irritated, and there's no point carrying on playing when you're irritated, you're not enjoying it. There's no point carrying on playing. Pretty sure this hand was from another day, but I'm not sure. Yeah, this wasn't. This is all the rest of these hands started yesterday. So we had the 9-7 suited. We open the button, as of course we should. We get really small 3-bet from a. Well, this guy's tag can change now, can't it? It should be a blue tag. We get really small 3-bet from the small blind. Another whale coming on the big blind. I mean, this is not a hand I particularly enjoy calling 3-bets with, but when it's this size, it's going to go multi-way, and we're going to have position. Then we're just going to be in, of course. Flop an open ender. He bets half pot. He calls. I think we just have a mandatory call. He had absolutely no point raising. And our hand's too good to fold, so just call. We turn not the nuts, but near as fucking damn it to the nuts. Villain 10 just goes all in, 34 big blinds. This dude calls, and I'm like, I maybe got my penis maybe went past quarter chunky for the first time in like maybe 3 or 4 years. But I was too busy playing to use it. So we decide here now, do we just go all in now? Because fuck this guy and he's probably calling anyway. Do we just call and maybe to hope for a brick river and get the loss then? I typically always fast play in these situations versus recreational players. I don't think there's any reason to slow play here whatsoever. This guy's clearly got some kind of hand, either a pretty big draw or some kind of top pair type hand. I mean, who knows with the 59-48, but he's not folding. So we're just not going to muck around. We're all in. He calls 2. Cards go on their backs, and we're in an incredibly good situation. He's drawing dead, and this guy's got, like 8 outs. So, goes. Beautiful. And then he just rivers a flush, and I was not happy. It's like this is one of the first hands of that. I had a bad end to the session on Saturday night, and I didn't play much on Sunday. I was went out for a meal with my son and his pregnant girlfriend at lunchtime. Then we thoroughly enjoyed watching Liverpool thump Manchester United 7-0, which again almost gave me a quarter chunky. It was a good weekend for the fucking impotence, I'll tell you. And then Sunday evening, I had a little nap and I wasn't going to play. Then I decided later on, fuck it, we'll just play. Normally, I take it quite easy on Sundays with poker. So this was like one of the first hands back, and this happened. I was like, oh, just fuck you, poker. I was a little bit pissed off, not going to lie. But the tables were great, and I wasn't pissed off enough to stop playing yet. So we did continue the session. On to the next one. We have the Queen 8 of Diamonds. We have a very loose, aggressive whale. Open the button to 3x. We just call. I don't think there's any reason. I mean, we wouldn't. This hand wouldn't fall into many 3-bet ranges anyway. Certainly not going to 3-bet versus this guy. It's 3x, so it's a bit less comfortable, but it's an absolute slam dunk call, of course, against a player with this profile. We flop ourselves a top pair. Oh, I remember this guy. This guy's going to feature heavily over the next few minutes. He pots it. We call. Turn 9. We check. He pots it again. Hello. Really, mate? I mean, when people are just this aggressive, I just don't fold hands to them very often. They just don't fucking do it. So we call again. River's a 10. We check. He snap potted it again, like literally, like bang, immediately. I mean, there's so many ways we can be beat here, but we're playing someone between 59-48, 90% C bet. Just not prepared to fold this type of holding to him. It's grim, it's uncomfortable, but we just ripped the plaster off and called pretty quickly. Unfortunately, we caught somebody in the bluff and one went our way. The first hand in the video that's gone our way. On to the next hand, we have 2 aces. We have a limp. This is the same guy from the last hand. He was quite the player. He ISOs to 4x. We only make it 12, and this is annoying. I should make it much bigger than this. I just didn't want to lose this guy. If we make it like 16, 17, we might lose him. This is me being greedy, basically. Look how deep we are, though. This is a very big mistake from me. We should just be making this much bigger. He calls. We get a pretty fucking ugly flop. We check. He bets pot. And we saw what he betting. Last time he was just betting pot with a draw. Yeah, I decided just to fucking raise. Because against this guy, he can have plenty of made hands that would head off here. He can have some made hands that were behind too, of course. Nothing stopping him having the absolute nuts here. I think he would probably 4-bet king spree. He can have 10-9, pocket 10s, pocket 9s, queen. There's lots of good hands he can have, but he can also just have king jack, king queen, flush draws, etc. It's not a comfortable spot, but it's a spot that would, 100 bigs deep, and I'm not bothered. We're all in, mate. Whatever, run it. This deep, I don't fucking know. I don't know how we should have proceeded. But I decided to just say, fuck it, we're just going to play for the lot, and if you've got us beat, you've got us beat. He rips it in, which I think he would do with his draw still. At this point, we're just committed. We have to call. So we do call. Sadly for us, he turns over the king-9 suit. And then we made it bigger pre. He might still have called with that, so... whether pre-flop it was a mistake. Pre-flop was definitely a mistake, but whether making it larger would have made any difference, who knows. And sadly we do not got there, and we lose a fucking big one. We lose a 380 big blind pot, which isn't fun. I think that the only mistake we made there was pre with our sizing. Against this player type, we saw in the previous hand, he was just betting pot with draws. We can't be check folding pocket aces here, and I think check's fine on the flop because I think this guy's just going to fire a lot. Just the game flow and the game dynamics. And I'm fine with how I played it post flop. I think the only slight mistake was pre flop. It just didn't work out. Pocket 6s here. We have a limper. We ISO to 5 big blinds. 8 million people call. We flop ourselves top set. We get led into. Again, I don't think there's any reason to slow play here. Alright, so we just fucking rip it. I guess. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to achieve with this, but we should just raise smaller, I think. Because this just knocks this guy out almost all the time. Nah, don't know about this. Anyway, he's all in anyway. He doesn't give a fuck. He's just all the fucking anyway. And so's he. So we're in the middle of a 289 big blind pot. We've got top set. And we've just absolutely cooled the dick off this poor cunt. And we hold. So good for us. Ship it. Got all them fucking big blinds to take. 15 big blinds, you horrible cunts. On to the next one. We have pocket kings. This is the same guy from earlier again. The pot guy, the guy with the king-9, the guy with the king-jack suited. This time we go with the larger squeeze. We go to 18 big blinds. He calls. This guy I got the impression I'd never seen him before yesterday. By the way he was playing, he was having like flats in the small blind and stuff. I think he was just like a donkament player who was trying his hand at cash. That's the impression that I got of him. It wasn't a regular. We get a pretty fucking miserable flop again. I elect to just fucking ram it in their eyes because, well, I don't fucking know why. Probably just for pure value against Jacks, 10x, who knows what. Who fucking knows what, but I just had to ram it in their eye. I guess I didn't want to risk him checking back and then a shit card coming. And any bet, this could be a punt. Well, not a punt. I think it's fine. I think it makes, this without question makes money. But is there a better way to play it? I mean, I don't fucking know. It's an 18 big blind squeeze pot. 3 people are in the fucking pot. We have an SPR of like less than 2. Probably fine. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not going to beat myself up for it. Could there have been a better way to play it? Maybe. Is this going to make money? It's going to absolutely fucking print money, I would imagine. Is it the highest EV play? Maybe not, but I don't fucking know what a higher EV play would be. He gets out of the way. This dude called, and he did call very quickly. And he just had this, which is like, come on, mate. Is that reasonable? Is that flop fucking reasonable? I mean, he's called out the small blind with 7-8 suited versus a 4x. Then he's called an 18 big blind squeeze, and then he's just fucking flopped absolute fucking gin. It's thoroughly unreasonable. Thoroughly unreasonable. So let's run it out. Turn was a fucking exceptional card. It removes all these 2 pair outs, which is fucking delightful. And then he just drilled the flush on the river, and I was like, really? I mean, how unreasonable is that? I mean, how good are these fucking games? But how unreasonable was that? I was miffed. Move on to the next one. A7 of spades. We have a limp. We have an ISO. We have a call. We have another call. And we flop gin. We get led into for full pot. This guy's got no money. We don't need to worry about him. I think this is a spot where we probably should slow play. Whether I do or not, who knows? But I think it's a spot where we probably should. And I do. And he calls. Turns shit. You know, this is one of the dangers of slow playing because now it's quite the action killer against this. Even against an 85-11, it's quite an action killer. He checks. We just bet really small. He calls. Group prepares the board. He's all in. We're all in. And he just had the Jack 4 off suit because who doesn't limp call with the Jack 4 off suit? And this guy just didn't rip ace king pre. Yeah, my game selection is fucking outrageously good. On to the second to last hand, we have 2 8s. We get 3 bet by, I think this is the same guy again from all the earlier hands. Yeah, it's the same table as like the aces, the whatever the fuck else it was. We had the queen 8, yeah, it's that same hand. Same table. I just had to just fucking rip it because fuck him and fuck him. You know, I was maybe losing my mind a little bit, but I mean, this guy's playing 60-50 with a 30% 3 bet. So he can get fucked. This cunt's just cold calling 7-8 suited in the blinds, so he can get fucked. I mean, this again, it could be an absolutely enormous punt. It didn't feel like it was. This wasn't me just like ruffling it off or tilting. This was me. I actually considered my options here and thought, just fuck them. This guy's probably putting quite a lot of dead money in. This suspected tournament player. This guy's just 3-bet range is pretty fucking wild over a tiny sample. And I just wanted to like hopefully deny equity to like overcards and shit and what have you. I mean, I don't expect this guy to fold a better hand, but if he's 3-betting hand like ace, jack, ace, 10, king, queen, etc., all those hands maybe should hit the muck. Whether they do or not, who knows. This cunt's got 7-8 suited last time in a very similar spot. Fuck knows what he's got. But I think we can rule out him having like 10s plus. And I actually considered this and just thought it's probably the best play. I didn't want to call and then play like a three-way pot out of position versus someone who like applies a lot of pressure post flop with a wide range. So I just thought this was like a decent option. Could pick it up pre. If he doesn't, then fine. We just run it, I guess. Sadly, this couldn't called, and he just had us absolutely crushed. Until that happened, look at that little beauty. Wasn't proud to have flopped a set, but I was quite. I did give it a bit of a mini fist pump when it happened. And we had a nice clean run out, and we won a pot we didn't deserve to win, but we've lost a few we didn't deserve to lose. So I'm not really fucking bothered. On to the last hand of this video. We have two queens. We have a yellow tag reg, which is my tag for tight reg, raising middle position. We 3-bet to 10 blinds on the button. Maybe a little bit chunky on the chunky side, but I think it's completely fine. We have recreational players in the blinds who may very happily just call this sizing. Yeah, I'm just not bothered. I mean, I guess we're supposed to make it 9x here, 10. I wouldn't even have cared if I made it 11, to be honest with you, against like some pretty bad tight regs. These guys just call to set mine all the time. So why not just charge them a bit extra when they're doing that? And he does call. We get a pretty reasonable flop. We get the recreational players leading out for like 1/3 pot. He just calls. So this guy who knows what he can have here, he's in the small blind. He shouldn't have overtaken us on this flop. This guy, I don't think he opens all pairs under the gun. I'd be middle position. Maybe he does, but he doesn't have 5-3 for certain. He probably doesn't have deuces. Probably doesn't have fours. Maybe pocket sixes. I think ace king. I think like aces kings. He just 4-bets pre. So I just think we've always got the nuts here or thereabouts. There's a lot of action killers. I just ruffled it in. He just ruffles it in. And he just ruffles it in. Yeah. Action was good. This guy just had the ace-4 offsuit. So fair play to him. This cunt did have the set, which is very annoying. But whatever. It is what it is. We pick up a flush draw, which is not much use to us because this fucker has the absolute nut draw. And look at that river. In a 368 big blind pot. Is it that big? Yeah. Was it that big? Or is that because we had extra money and we just ruffled it in? Could be. It wasn't that big, was it? This guy only started with 100 bigs, yeah. In a 284 big blind pot, we just rivered the absolute fucking jink card. And it was fucking delightful, and it was quite the swingy weekend. This is my results of the month to date. Come on, don't stop being a dick. No, right. What if I just minimise you? No, then you just come up black, and then that's fine. So this is the month to date. This was the weekend. We shot down, and then we just like recovered quite nicely. So this isn't the month to date. This is the month to date. This was the weekend. Didn't go well, then it went well. Really can't complain too much. Played 10,000 hands already this month. Played 28 hours already this month in basically 5 days. So I'm putting the graft in, I'm putting the grind in. Running slightly above EB, but yeah, things are going okay. Things are going okay. We didn't look at last month. We haven't done a video review last month. I did on Facebook. Can you get last month in here? No, you can't. So we'll have to do it this way, aren't we? Oh, fuck off. Is that it? That was last month. Went really, really well. Then we had a really shitty end to the month. Just had like 1 or 2 sessions where nothing went right. And I think like if we look at like the end of that graph and then we look at this month, I have started to take a slightly more high variance approach. Like you saw me just fast playing a lot more. in there than you would typically see me playing. Um, and I think that's going to end up being a good thing. It's going to increase my short-term variance, as you saw there was like lots of hands where I was just bang, yeah, I'm all in, mate. I think I might have the best hand. I think you got a bit of a whopper. You can call with worse, and I adopted a like not deliberately try to increase my variance, but just like fast playing more, and just like getting on with it, and if I'm beat and beat rather than like being a little bit careful and cautious and waiting to see save turn cards. Um, and I think I like it. It's not particularly GTO. GTO doesn't like it. I've looked at some of them and it doesn't like what I've been doing. But GTO isn't playing against the players I've been playing against who will just merrily flick it in with some pretty fucking weak hands that they should like bet fold or check fold or what have you, or hands they shouldn't raise and then call off with. They're just doing it. So yeah, it's increasing variance a little bit, but I think it's going to be long term. It's going to be fine. So I'm still doing a lot of the GTO work. Every session before I start, I do a practice session. I'm running hands through GTO Wizard, but not necessarily in order to learn how to play GTO poker, just to check, like, am I being too out of line here? And if I'm running a hand through it that's looking like I'm a bit too out of line, I'm going back and looking at my villain. I mean, if I'm getting out of line versus like regs and type players, then it's probably not good. But if I'm doing stuff that GTO doesn't like against recreational players, generally by being too aggressive and being a little bit too greedy with value hands, then I don't mind that because yeah, I think that's going to be fine. So I think I'm just like started to just hopefully meld the two together, like hopefully playing like slightly better theoretically against regs, whilst against recreational players, hopefully just like maybe playing with a bit more abandon, a bit more just fuck it, just run it. We have I like my hand, I like my equity or whatever. Like the ace king suited hand, we were like behind both players, but we had such a lot of equity. So instead of just checking, hoping they check back and try to realise, just fucking run it, mate. And it's more fun. I'm probably paying a little bit more rake, but yeah, it's gonna be just fine. It's gonna be just fine, and yeah, it's been a good start to the month, even though it's been like you can see by the shape of that graph. It's been much more of a swingy month. But in terms of how much we've made, I made $250 in 5 days, primarily playing 20 NL. We had a little bit of 50 NL, and it was as you can see, it was tiny. It was just 100 something hands. I took a quick glance at the lobby, and it looked like there was lots of like not full stackers around. So I had a quick game, did okay, and then the table, and I was like the fish that I took some money from, they were replaced by regs, and I just fuck it, I'm off again. Just hit and ran the game. We barely played. You can tell by my VP, my PFR, the games were good. We only played 111 hands. We won over a buy-in, and then we ran away again because the tables filled up and with regs, and I didn't want to play anymore. Yeah, it's been a good month so far. Can't complain. And hope you guys have enjoyed this video. There's probably going to be some more GTO wizard type videos this week. They're not doing very well. I think the people that like them really like them, and I think lots of other people don't like them. But it's just the content I'm making, and if people don't like it, then never mind. And it's just good for me. It's good for me for practice purposes. It's good for me to just fill my time in the mornings when I'm up early and I don't really want to play because the games aren't great, but I want to be doing something. I think it's good just to do 50, 100 hand sessions, spend an hour and a half doing that. And why not record it? If no one watches, then who cares? It's still good for me to do that. So yeah, we're going to be. I'm actually going to do one now. I'm actually going to make a video for that me versus GTO because it's 10 to 2 now in the afternoon. I am. It's too late to start a session. I've got to pick the young man support up at 3 o'clock. So I'm just going to make a GTO video now. It should be out tomorrow or Tuesday. So yeah, anyway, I'm fucking off right now. I shall see you all next time I make a video. As always, fuck the Tories, fuck anyone that supports them, and if that's you, fuck you. I know there are some good guys. Simon in particular, who's he's not a closet Tory, he's an absolute out and out Tory, but I fucking think the world of the guy. So Simon, it does mean fuck you because you're a cunt and you know you're a cunt, but not fuck you. But generally speaking, yeah, fuck the Tories. And we'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone, and bye-bye for now.